I had this rather shocking experience early on in the days of Zoe when I participated in our first really large trial. And as part of that, I had a DEXA scan to understand my fat distribution. And I have a lot more body fat than it appeared on the outside. But in particular, it's all what I've now discovered afterwards is called visceral fat. So basically stored, nicely around, my organs in my belly.
Whereas fat that goes in the middle of the body, especially inside the belly, that's the visceral fat that is very harmful. Now, I think of visceral fat as being your sort of second level energy reserve. And that increases when the healthy bits of fat in the other parts of your body aren't so good at expanding. So you have to use your second level energy reserves. It's got preferential access to important organs like the liver. So when visceral fat misbehaves or dumps its storage, it dumps it straight into the liver rather than spreading around the rest of the body.
If you are insulin resistant, are there particular types of food that you should be trying to limit?
Fats in food are particularly harmful. They also interfere with the way insulin works. As we've said, carbohydrate, sugars are best taken in healthy natural forms, which means they get trickled into the system gradually rather than just arriving as a big lump, if you like. White rice or white bread is very processed and will lead to rapid absorption because it's easy to get the sugar out of it. And that poses more of a challenge to the body immediately to make a lot of insulin.
This is one of my most depressing discoveries since I started Zoe, was that bread, particularly like a beautiful smelling, just cooked, white bread, gets turned by my body into sugar in minutes, and therefore is, not really very different from having a can of Coke. But I have taken away from this, not that you should never eat bread, but that if you're eating lots of like bread or white rice as part of a meal, with lots of sort of fat and protein to sort of slow down the absorption, that at least in my case can lead to this really rather extraordinary blood sugar spike in, like 15 minutes.
So I think, but I think awareness of these things and trying to avoid habitual, regular consumption of the unhealthy types of food is doubtless very sensible.